Hey everybody,
We are live.
we're live with a topic on money magic because we really feel this is an important topic next to relationship and sex and all of that circles around our survival. We also need to look at our relationship to money because it's such a strong energy in this world.
Plus, we like exploring, as you probably know, for those who come and watch some of our content, the 4 greatest taboos of our time, which are truth,
Sex,
truth,
money,
and death. Dun, dun, dun. And green smoothies.
Yeah. And why do we like to explore?
They're not really a taboo, just in case you're watching and I think that green smoothies are a taboo of our time.
But we like to explore these taboos because when we confront ourselves with them, we really, really liberate ourselves, because taboos are just suppression, basically, suppression on a society level. And money is one of them. Money is the one that sort of everybody wants it. Everybody wants to get a piece of it, or a big piece of it. Many people think that they don't have enough. Most of us, even the rich people, think they don't have enough. And
we know that because we also know people with lots of money, and they live a lot of the times in a lot of fear and a lot of lack. So we know that lack is a inbuilt, you could say, subconscious program that has been put into us over many years, hundreds, thousands of years even. But what I want to just say before we begin, because we're only going to be here for a short time, we're going to give you some little gems to take away that we've picked up from those that have inspired us and that we use in our life. And then in a couple of weeks, we're doing a webinar, and that webinar will be about an hour and a half. It's you can just register as gifts, sign up. You don't have to. There's no like secret scam going on here. But we just realized we just did a workshop for an hour and a half, and we still only really scratched the surface. And we want to just share this juice with as many people in the world to support you to have a new relationship to yourself and to the way that you circulate the energy of money. So let's dive in, because we have about 6 key points that we want to share with you, unless you want to say anything else before we jump.
Yeah, I think would like to invite you to start with, if I say money is, and then put that in the comment, money is, what is it for you? What word pops up for you? Money is, maybe some people say freedom, some people say dirty. For us, a lot, like in the beginning when I started doing this work, there was a lot of like judgment on money. Money is evil. Money is at the root of greed. Money is only for those who have a lot.
You gotta work hard for your money.
So hard for
you gotta work hard for your cash. Anybody heard that one? Money is hard work, hard to come by.
Well, money doesn't grow on trees.
Money, you must have all had that one. So when we ask this question, money it's like we want you to look at the belief systems that you have from yourself, society that you're functioning in now, and then your parents and your grandparents as well. What were their money stories in terms of what they told? The big one of money doesn't grow on trees. I think most people that we've shared this with say, yeah, that's what my mum used to say, or my dad used to say. Any others, please put them in the comments, because it helps other people to see how they may have been conditioned.
Yeah, and why we do that, and why we need to really get clear on what sentences we have in our brain around what money, what we think about it, is because money has ears. And I love this term, money has ears. So money listens to everything that you say about it, especially behind its back. So yes, we all want money because we all need it. We all need it to survive. But are you saying things like, oh, I don't have enough money for that, and I wish I had more, but I don't. And
I need to save for that.
Yeah, or these things like money really is evil, and I see all these evil people who have those people who have so much money, they're all corrupt. Yeah, there's a lot of link of money and corruption because we see it so much.
Yeah, and Rosie's has put a lovely one. Money is security. Huge, big one, Rosie. Yeah, money is security. Everybody thinks if I don't have money, I'm not secure. And on some level, you can see the logic in that, right? Yes. Because money is everywhere. We need money to eat. We need money to buy a house. We need money to so often get our basic needs met. So there's often some truths, some little truths in some of these.
No, but really, actually, you have to look at it even further. Like when you place something like abundance or security or freedom and equal it with money, what you're doing is you're placing that abundance, that security, that freedom outside of yourself into the energy of money, rather than realizing that you are freedom, you are abundance, you are security. And when you embody security, when you embody freedom, when you embody abundance, then money will just be attracted to that and come through you. So, but the moment you equal something else, like something, money with something outside of you, you place it outside of you, and then you become dependent on it.
Yeah, and lack.
Money really is just a beautiful energy, or it's just energy, actually. Peter Kelly or somebody else said, no, in another book I read that, said money is the most neutral form of energy that we have on this planet. It is so neutral, in fact, that it takes on everything that is just comes in contact with it. And I like to talk about here of this analogy around money, and that money is like water. Yeah, we use a lot of terms around water when we speak about money, like it's the currency, or I'm not fluid, or I'm fluid, or cash flow. So this all is very watery, and money has that energy of water. And what is it when we look at water? Water doesn't have a form by itself. Water is in an ocean and it assumes the form of the earth, or it's in a lake and it has the form of a lake, or it's in a glass of water and it assumes the form of the glass, but it doesn't have its own form. It doesn't have its own boundary in a way. So the same way is true for money. When we pour water or money into a vessel, which we are the vessel for that amount, for the amount of money that comes to us, you're the form. We all are the glass that surrounds, the container that surrounds the money. And when that container is clean, then the money is clean. But most of us have a very dirty container, especially when it comes to money. So what happens is that this water inside of this glass, of course, it turns dirty, and it turns into power hungry, it turns into greed, it doesn't do the things that it actually wants to do. Again, it's just a neutral energy. So whatever you put into it will come back to you. Whatever you give it, whatever instruction you give it with your thoughts, with your energetics, really, that will be the thing. And this is really important. This is the main thing that we want to drum home today, is that, yeah, you can learn about how to invest money, how to save money, how to, get rich in this and this and that kind of way. But what's really important, and what you have to do before you do any of that, is look at your energetic instructions to money. How are you talking with it? How are you inviting it? Money is like a friend. Like, would you talk bad about a friend and then expect him to come to your house and drink tea with you? No, you wouldn't.
Some people do. So that's a whole nother thing, right? Because we want to talk about, right, really the truth that we're speaking, as always, to our internal selves, and then how we're projecting that out. So it's always that invitation to come back to the subconscious, to uncover what programs are running inside of us. So it's beautiful that also we look at how we're trying to accumulate money, how we're trying to save money. Our society, our current society, which on many aspects is slightly upside down, inside out, and a little bit backwards, right? Tells us that we must save for a rainy day. We must have a pension plan, because we must save now for our funeral plans. I mean, there's so many things that we're having to save for and accumulate. So whenever somebody comes into the field around money, there's often this instant protection about it, and like wondering, who's going to try and take money from me now? Who's going to take this from my money? Which leads us into the next, maybe, does it go into the next one? Where you and I, nobody owns money.
You cannot.
You cannot own money. And it's this massive, crazy belief. And of course, as we all know, money in circulation right now, there is no Federal Reserve, there is no gold bullion, there is no promissory note anymore. Money is just pieces of paper and numbers on a screen. We all know that. And we're just like producing it however we want. And that's a whole nother story. You can go looking at the story of money from that perspective. But what we want to say is, you don't own money. You know how we know that you don't own money? Your name is not on it.
And you won't write it on it. and you won't take it with you when you leave. Money cannot be ours. We can only be stewards of money. We can only take responsibility, and then every time we use and circulate this money, it's like a vote. It's like a voice that you're giving to this money, and an instruction that you're giving to it of what it's going to do in this world. So this preconception of I own money is really at the crux of the corruption around money, because we think we own it, when in fact it's just this water that flows through us. But many of us think that we have to hold on to the pool of water, that where the water flows, right, when it's a waterfall. But actually, when you really want to generate abundance, you have to move yourself into the tap, into the waterfall of money, and stand in there and know that the river is gonna keep flowing. The moment you start holding onto the water in the pool, what happens to the water? It becomes stagnant, it becomes stale, it becomes stuck, it stops flowing, because we're holding on. We're thinking, oh, there's not enough. And that, there it is, the instruction to money again. I don't have enough. Right. So why would money come to you? The moment you think you don't have enough to give something, give freely, there will be no return. And this is maybe where our magic has come in also through the many years that we've been exploring our relationship with money through many different ways, and mostly through the gift economy, which is not necessary for everybody, but has been such a blessing for us, because the gift economy is something that bases itself on the idea that we're not valuing how we're sharing our gifts, but we're sort of leaving the value onto the person who's receiving that gift, and then they can gift us back from whatever they feel they've received from their heart.
Yeah, it's like a heart-to-heart exchange.
Yes.
But when we talk about the gift, and we'll talk more about this when we do the more extended video, we go a bit more in depth to this. But when we look at this, what Dara was pointing to, that we're the tap, not the pool. We're the waterfall. We're the constant flow of circulation of energy. We are energy, receiving energy. And I'm not getting all spiritual woohoo on here and telling you that, you know, it's spiritual to be poor and it's all energy and energy will come and so on. We know at the moment the circulation is distorted because so many people are holding on to money and possessing it and saying it's mine and it's not somebody else's. And that's why we have such a imbalance in the circulation. But if we all started circulating with a new mentality, a new heightened awareness of how to exchange money, then all of a sudden we would see that there's enough for everybody's need, but not enough for everybody's greed, as it was said that Gandhi and many others have mentioned it like that. So when we sing this song, we sing this beautiful song, the more that we give, the more that we have to give. It doesn't mean that we go into this place of lack and go like, oh, well, I just got to keep giving, and it will come back. That does happen. And there's a beautiful term called the double boomerang effect, where when you truly give unconditionally, the boomerang not only comes back once, it comes back double time, right? It's called the double boomerang effect. But that's when you give unconditionally without an expectation. And we will talk more about that and around the gift and the trust muscle that is needed in order for the gift to really work, and how you have to move out of a lot of lack and scarcity and fearful belief programs that get uncovered. And me and Dara have had to face, we've had to like uncover themselves and go, whoa, how did you just react there? Look how you spoke there. Look how you responded there. And then we're like, oh my God, that's coming straight from conditioning. That's coming from like, oh I'm a bit scared right now that we're not going to generate enough money, or there's not enough coming in. And we've noticed our own behaviors falling back into those belief systems. So I just want you to know that this is beautiful to hear. But if you really make a decision to start to engage with money, energy in a different way, it's going to surface all of the crap that you've been believing, and also the way you've been behaving.
Yeah, and it's so important to look at this relationship, because it is a taboo and we're not really talking about it. We're not bringing this out into the open. We're not actually looking at how we're talking about money. And whenever we do, we realize, whoa, there's so much shit inside of me about this topic. And how do I expect anything good from it? Because I never actually really have a great conversation with this energetic aspect of money. So really, really, look at your vocabulary, look at how you go into the shop, and what's the first thing that you do when you see something that you really like wearing?
Let's ask them.
The price tag?
Do you see something you really like, and then the first thing you do, price tag check?
Because you just think, oh, probably I won't be, it's probably going to be expensive. Is that the first thought that comes up, always to the price tag, rather than like, oh, am I worth this? Is this beautiful? I would really love it. Or do you go to, dinner with your friends, and then it's the question, you're all finished and the bill comes and you go like, I'd love to pay for everyone, but, and then you all go.
You go fight. Come on, guys. Like,
fight.
Give us a little comment in the comments, right? How many times you've been around the table, there's 10, 12 people at the dinner table, and then all of a sudden, everyone's separating the bill, and everyone's separating the bill to the penny. And they're like, wow, I ain't had a lemon. And it's as if like people don't even want to throw in a few pounds for the tip sometimes, or they don't want to throw in and contribute just to a few other things. It's such a limiting way to do the bill. And I want to offer a couple of options here. I understand that some of you out there listening can't pay the whole bill. No problem. And I want you to own that. Charles Eisenstein says something so beautiful. If zero is your abundance, then we honor that, right? Meaning that if you don't have it to give and you own that in your power, there's actually sovereignty in that, right? But what's a nightmare is when everyone's scrimping and scraping, when actually there is a way that we can come at it from a much more abundant perspective. So for example, maybe you can't get the bill every time, but maybe you can get the bill one time. Maybe that you have $20 and it's just like, hey, should we just split this bill between 3 of us tonight? Whatever. There's different options rather than it getting into this frenzy where everyone's counting pennies, right? And you're feeling so scarce and lack in that. That's not communicating to the universal energy that you are an open container that's welcoming in the flow of abundance.
And it's trusting that it will come back around, because scarcity at the core is really just a non-trust. We fear that it's not going to come back, so enough. We hold on, and that it's not enough right now, so I'm holding on to what I have. But that's not an invitation to money at all. That's like an exvitation. I don't know what that like, just you're not included, you're not welcome in this house.
It's a new word, I like it.
And it throws money out of your life every time for me it was such a beautiful realization when I really noticed how often I feel very closed when I'm investing, when I'm spending money on something. We're going to talk about this in a moment, but when I'm going into a shop and I buy something, even something that's important like food or a piece of clothing that I just need, and there would be this weird feeling in my gut every time. It's like, oh, I don't really want to give this away right now. And then what we started to do this appreciation rampage.
Should we go there first, or should we go to spend and invest first? Let's go to spend and invest first. Okay. No, because let's end on the appreciation. Okay. She's off. Dara's the structured one. We got some little notes here on the screen, and like we're just off. We want to keep this and your engagement for the next 10 or so minutes. We want to keep this at about 30 minutes. So let's just jump in here. So when it comes to changing the vocabulary around how we engage with this energy, like I said, we have to flip it round. So like Dara just mentioned, spending. What does the word spent mean? I'm spent. People say that when they're wiped out, right? They're tired. Oh man, I'm just spent right now. Yeah. So it's like, so if we say I'm spent, I'm spending, we're actually saying it's tiring, right?
It's finished.
It's finished. It's over, right? It's like it's gone. It's not like I'm saying invest. So we want you to change that word, and trust me, it's taken us a few years. It's almost in my subconscious now. Have you noticed? I'm saying it a lot more. It took us a long time to just rewire spending to investing. Now, what happens when you invest in something? It accumulates, it appreciates, it becomes more.
Or
right?
it's just when you invest, that means you realize that if I put that money there, it's going to keep working, because that's what money always does. When we say I spent, it means it's gone, I don't have it anymore. But with investment, it's the acknowledgement that this money is going to keep doing something in the world. And what instruction did I give it when I gave it away? What did I tell it? When I invested in this natural health shop, I gave it instruction to keep working for a company that I agree with the values that they are promoting in this world. So I'm giving more energy into a structure that I'm agreeing with, rather than just buying a shit product that is tested on animals and I know it, the animals got cruelty and all of this, treated really badly.
So just ponder. I just want to just throw in there because I know we want to go into that. Think about this. Let this absorb. Every time you move your energy into something, whatever it is, juice, fast food, shopping, anywhere, you are circulating and investing into that. You are voting, as Dara said earlier, voting with your actions.
You're voting for the world.
Right. So
the one that you want to live in, or the one that's just the cheapest.
Right. And Peter Kelly says this lovely, which we're going to refer to 3 books that we like on this later. Peter Kelly says this lovely. She is very, let's say, wealthy, right? She's became a millionaire at a young age, and so on and so forth. So, you know, depending on your money circulation at the moment, you've got to check in with what feels abundant to you as you start to expand. You know, you're not going to just start all of a sudden, I've only got $30 and you're going to blow it and then all of a sudden be in a load of lack. That's not what we're talking about. But if you can check in the ethics and the values of a company or an organization, and you do a little bit of research and find out if they're resonating with you and your values and your ethics, and then you have to pay maybe 10 euros, 20 euros, 30 euros more for that product, right? But you know that product and then people and what they're doing and how they're helping and how they're serving and what their visions and dreams are, you know that, wow, yeah, I could probably go down to so-and-so and get it for $5, $10, maybe it would be the same quality or not is irrelevant, because you're investing into the vision and the energy and the support, the community of that product or that person or that company. Does that make sense? Please put a comment in the thread if that makes sense, if that resonates. For us, we still go to some places that we don't necessarily fully resonate with. We still move our money in some places like, do we really want to put it there? And it's sometimes, what's the word? Not necessity, but it just has to happen. That's just how it is. I go to fuel companies and put money. I don't research every fuel company I invest my money into, but I do what Dara was going to say in a moment, gratitude that I am supporting the people in that company, or whoever they are. Yeah. So we'll come to that in a moment. Is that enough on that one?
Yeah, I think so.
So you want to go to here? Nice.
Yeah, so that's really the point. And when we go into investing money, then what has changed this feeling that I had, that I described earlier, every time I would invest into something, I would feel this weird, like, oh, I don't really want to spend this. I don't really feel like I can do this. So in order to work with this feeling, I took on what Peter Kelly suggested, which is called an appreciation rampage. 60 seconds appreciation rampage. And that goes like this. So every time you invest €1, 10 euros, 100 euros, 1,000 euros, however much money you invest, you go into 60 seconds of appreciation rampage, which is, I so appreciate that I have the money right now to pay for this delicious food that's going to nurture me from the inside out, and it's going to make me feel so great, and I'm taking all this health, and I really appreciate that this money is with me right this moment, and that I'm circulating it over and over again, and I'm able to invest it into a company that I believe into their values, and I really know that this money is going to keep working with them and with me, and working for a more beautiful world that my heart knows is possible, and so on and so forth. So you really ramp yourself up into a beautiful space of knowing that the gratitude for the money that you have right this moment is so important. And if you feel like, really, this is one of the things that's so important to know, and also to appreciate where you are with your money. And most of you, I guess all of you are listening to this video right now, we are the freaking privileged ones on this planet. We have more than 85% living on this planet, even if you just have 100 euros in your account. As long as you have a roof over your head, food in the fridge, a mobile phone, which you're watching this,
probably watching this on.
Very, very, very privileged.
Super privileged. And again, quoting Charles Eisenstein, but the gift of life, the sun shining, the fruits, the food that the Mother Earth gives us constantly, our life, our breath, everything that we have is a gift. We are gifted immensely. Our whole life is a gift. We are super duper trooper privileged, right? And if you haven't embodied that privilege fully, then you haven't fully come to that acknowledgement of loving yourself as a divine expression of life force. And when that does sink, your relationship to giving as it's like almost like love assigns you with your natural unique purpose, which is to express itself as love, as giving, as showing up, as supporting, as circulating, as being a conduit for the voice of
the earth.
Yeah, the voice of the earth, the voice of love, I was going to say, the voice of compassion, of grace, of appreciation, man, just gratitude. I mean, it comes full circle to gratitude. The very fabric of gratitude comes from love. And when you realize that interconnectedness to yourself and everything, your relationship to money will change, because you will see that just like oxygen that we breathe in, the circulation of this energy of money is all interrelated, right? So this is little gems around, like we said, truth, sex, death, and money. These 4 taboos, they are not separate. They are all linked in together. And when we start to embody our truth, we start to connect deeply to the truth of our sexuality, the origin of where we came from. That God is in our pants. Then we realize that God is the bank account, the true bank account.
The universe is the most abundant bank account
wow,
you could ever ask for alone.
That's constantly giving you. It's like a continual flow of gift, right? It's the next level when this sinks. And then you realize that death in its very essence is life. Death itself. We don't need to fear so much. If the only thing that has to die is our refusal to die. And when we look at fear deeply and get to know it, we know that the fear around money is running so much of the comparisons, the competition, the conflict, the war, the separation, the lack, the scarcity, all because of our messed up relationship to nothing. Because it's nothing. Right?
It's the energy.
It's nothing and everything, but that's another talk. So let's move on beautifully, because we have like 5-10 minutes. Check out this. We haven't spoke about the story. So
no, we do that on the.
Yeah, but we're going to tell them a little link into this. So one thing to leave you with: you got these little nuggets. Start playing with them, and what you can do as well. And we're going to talk again more in extensive on this with you if you join us on the webinar. Is today you can leave and you can just write down your story with money. Basically, you can write down your story with money. Look over the past, look at your mum and dad, look at your relationship to maybe your brothers and sisters, to how you've worked, to where you've worked, to how society has educated you around money, to what books you've maybe read on money, whatever.
How your family dealt with money. Was there issues between your grandparents or family conflicts around money? Look at these things really deeply and see what instructions you've received from your family and your history about money. And is it dirty? Is it evil? Is it separating? I've had these things, my family really argued a lot around money. And that was my instruction. It wasn't in words, but it was seeing how my family would deal with money and how that impacted me to sort of reject it, because I didn't want money to destroy relationships, because it was very painful for me to see as a child. Right.
And I will share more of mine next time. But, for many of you that know me, I grew up as a criminal from a very young age. I was shoplifting at the age of 14 and a half, almost 15. I started shoplifting. I was growing up in lack. When I started writing my money story, wow, it uncovered so much of why I was acting the way I was acting, what my beliefs were around working, why I was finding it so hard to even get money, why I kept thinking I have to keep going for more, why I wanted to be famous, a famous actor, to be rich and famous. That's a whole nother bug that we're going to talk about. I call it the fame and fortune program. When that's instilled in us, which many of us and many of you watching this have, wow, that is a deep society matrix program. And it causes so much unworthiness and guilt and shame and loneliness as well. Wow. Anyway.
So when you write your money story, make sure to go really deep into what you can remember, all of the instructions about it. And the reason why we are both very, very passionate about this topic, and especially bringing it to those who are right now listening, and those of you who feel somehow drawn to this idea, is because we are the ones who are doing the work. We are doing most of you are somehow trying to clear their, their energetics, trying to clear their emotional bodies, trying to become more alive and vibrant beings in this world. And so you have such a responsibility to change the story of money on this planet. Money doesn't clean itself by itself. Money needs us to change the story. Money needs us to have a better relationship with it so we can make epic things with money, because we all know money can do amazing things on this planet.
Beautiful energy to play with.
But if we are not stepping into our responsibility with it, and we're just like, oh no, everybody has so little, so I should have little too. No, you can have a lot as long as you keep circulating, as long as you keep giving it to the vision that you can see in this world. Then we're starting to shift the energy on this planet. We're starting to create amazing, beautiful, powerful things that are serving a much bigger vision than just I need to hold on to my money and I have just so little. You know?
We start creating new solutions, new systems, new ways of engaging, new places where people can come together and be together in community. And we start to rewrite the scripts. Yeah, that's what we do. We start to rewrite the scripts. And that's why if we look at the old story, then we can look at how we want to write the new story. And that's the next chapter, meaning that we're not trying to leave you on a cliffhanger. We're just trying, the webinar that we're going to be doing is offered to you as a gift. Come and hang out with us in 2 weeks' time. We're going to talk about the money story in more detail. We share a bit of ours. And then we're also going to talk how you can write the new script, and how you can start to make a new relationship and make money a lover and have a new, fresh relationship with it, and then go out there and start to do the magic that you want to create. But you have to work on cleaning the container first. Otherwise, your clarity, your refinement will just go out there in the same way that it has in the past. It won't go out there with any real clearer mission, you could say. Okay,
so come hang out with us on this webinar where we're going much deeper into this subject. We're really, really passionate around spreading this to everybody. I think it's so important that we all step into our energy with money, whatever that means for you. If you want millions, okay. If you want just a base that gives you enough ability to give abundantly, then that's beautiful. We all have different levels of abundance that we need.
Some people just want a couple of $1,000 a month. Some people just want to whatever, get a roof over their head and circulate. We're all in very, very different places, but together we are a global community. And trust us on this, and I will say this always. You guys know me. You know me and Dara. Most of you have been following some of our stuff. We're not trying to hard sell you. There's no thing at the end of the webinar telling you that you must come and buy something for $9.99 and you have to say, we want to share what we learn so you can share it on, because together we are stronger, and we're all in this together to share, to support, to create a more beautiful world that's right here, right now, to tap into wonder and to share our gifts. That's why we also trust the gift in the way that we show up, because for us at the moment, it's the most, for us, I say again, it's the most purest form of circulation of being able to keep the paywalls down and serve and support as many people as possible.
And the stuff really works from our own experience.
Yeah, one last thing. We just want to respect Peter Kelly. There's a great book called Earth is Hiring. Okay, Peter Kelly is amazing. We learned a lot from that beautiful being. She stopped doing this talk and she's doing other things. She's had 2 babies now, right? 2 babies. She's an amazing mother. She's out there. Earth is Hiring. We'll put a link in the thing. Next one, Dara, what's the name of the other one that you love?
Money, the Energy of Money.
The Energy of Money. It's a very old book. I haven't read it. Dara's been reading it and sharing all our wisdom.
Book, but also quite good if you want to really uncover your instructions to money. Then there is the Soul of Money, which we both haven't.
We haven't read this, but check it out. We've been given this from our friend Alex Kakia, and she recommended it to us, and we recommended it on, and I'm just starting to read it. It's called The Soul of Money by Lynn Twist. Transforming your relationship with money and life. And
It's really,
we can't
really
recommend
fun.
this from us. So just so you know, if you buy it and you don't like it, don't come and shoot the messenger. Okay?
And there's one book that it's not necessarily really about so much about money, but I really love this. It's from Amanda Palmer. The book,
yes.
The Art of Asking. It's really amazing.
Very
easy to read, but beautiful. And this is such an important thing as well when we're coming to the question of, you know, how to circulate more abundance. We need to learn. Yeah, we need to learn how to ask. And this book is about her journey, and it's very powerful and very beautiful.
Yeah, and that's actually something we'll talk about a bit more in detail, is this idea of allowing ourselves to receive. Most people, if you give them $1 million today, they can't hold it because their container isn't ready to hold it. They can't even receive it. They don't know what to do with it. That's why you hear sometimes when people's containers are dirty, they win the lottery or other things, and then within months, weeks, it's gone, or they've become addicts, or they've done something because the container wasn't ready to hold it. Yeah. So 35 minutes, we went a little bit over our expected time. Thank you all for your beautiful comments. Sending you love wherever you are. Keep shining bright. You matter. Everything you do, think, feel, put into this collective field of magnificent wonder, yeah, contributes to the whole.
Yeah, and if you're interested in the webinar, sign up on the Facebook link somewhere in the comments.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see you in 2 weeks.
So much love. Ciao.